Hi, I'm Janis Commentz, and I live near Joshua Tree National Park, and I've been here for several decades. It was not really my first choice. I came out here to teach school, but I have learned to love it. I grew up by the coast, and I have been painting since I was a small child. I was very fortunate. My mother and uncle were both artists, and our home was filled with creative supplies. I learned to paint early with a little box set of watercolors. When I was really young, like 3 or 4, my dad set up a blackboard made from a huge full-size door hung horizontally, covered in blackboard paint. And I could draw in colored chalk people and places and express myself creatively on a huge, to me, surface. And I knew that I could erase it if I wanted and start all over again. I wasn't threatened by that blank piece of white paper. Media. And I do love to paint in watercolor, acrylics, oils. For about the past 10 years, I've been using acrylic. The paint quality has improved a lot, especially since when I was first painting in the 1960s. There are various mediums that you can add to your paint to make it dry more quickly, dry more slowly. The color quality has improved a lot and almost matches oil paint. Many people don't know really the difference when they see the painting. And it's very durable, it's non-toxic, which is also a really good quality today. I think a painting is a combination of color, lights and darks, and telling that visual story. I like to have a conversation, a casual conversation with my viewer about the subjects that I'm painting. I brought out some paintings here today, and you can see behind me the large pillar rock is at a campground called Jumbo Rocks in Joshua Tree National Park, and it's a favorite place. This was on a stormy day. The Joshua trees, which I see daily, I've got greenery in our yard, but our home backs up to open land with lots of Joshua trees. And I do paint from photographs occasionally, photos that I have taken, where I did sketches. I was able to do color, a little thumbnail sketch and a small painting to record color and come home and finish it in the studio. Park or at a workshop, I've got a few things that I would be showing you. Before you ever start, you want to scan your view and see what you really want to include in your picture plane or your canvas. Something that will give you an idea of the composition that you're going to be painting. Believe it or not, I often use a simple little viewfinder, which is a piece of paper cut with a rectangle out of it, but it can be really helpful when you're out at a beach or something with a lot to select from. It helps you to choose just what you want to put in your painting. Planning makes a big difference. If you will do a simple thumbnail sketch, which is something very sketchy, something as simple as this will help you plan a painting. I encourage people to go out, do something that's not bigger than 4 or 5 inches max. Do 4 or 5 of them. And I often use a mechanical pencil. Even though you can get beautiful art pencils, your mechanical pencil is always available. It's always sharp. Start painting. Another thing I like to do is use a pastel pencil to sketch in my subject. And I'm using a red one today because it's a great complement of green. If you have color showing through, you'll see a color rather than the dark black. I like to take some medium, which is kind of a milky substance, and cover it. And that way it has like a plastic barrier almost between that and your paints. I start out with a very organized palette of color. Yellow, yellow, red, red, blue, green, and you can see once I get going, my painting colors do mix up quite a bit. acrylic paint mixes with water, which makes it much easier to clean up than when you are using oil paint. Here you see my palette as I set it up. I do not use a brown or an earth tone. I tend to make those myself from the paints that you see here. I encourage people to work not in one little section of the painting, but on the painting as a whole. Prior to 220, I was able to travel a couple of times to France, where I really enjoyed travel sketching and painting from my visit to Monet's garden in Giverny. Here is a video of me painting from a photograph that I took in Mojave, which is Brittany, where I was traveling in the summer of 2019. And I'm putting my travel sketches this year together into a calendar. Interestingly, during our period of isolation, I was painting a lot. During March, I was painting figurative paintings from photos that I had taken the summer before. Whenever I got a bouquet of flowers, I was really making the most of my time to paint what I had. And during the spring light, I was able to create some pieces that I really was happy with. During October, I'm planning to teach a few classes. These photos are from last year, before we had to wear our masks and be so careful. I really believe that each of us has creativity within us, and even if we don't think we can draw, there's so much we can learn from trying and from a few lessons. When I review what I've been doing in 2020, it's really been phenomenal. This is painting in my own backyard. I've been very fortunate that I've been in a place where I could paint the outdoors. And I've been able to do a little traveling up to Carmel safely, and I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity. For more information on classes, calendars, or to contact me, see my website at janiscommentz.com.